That was only the fucking first one of the month, folks. Next we have the complete opposite of Captain Underpants, Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman fucking sucks, and I don't give a shit what anyone says. So people are giving this movie so much more credit than it deserves, because first off, people are like, oh, it's the best DC movie. It's like, no fucking shit. The rest of the DC movies have been awful. The best way I can describe this movie is that if Suicide Squad was Wendy's Baconator made out of human shit, and Batman vs. Superman was a son of Baconator, this is a junior bacon cheeseburger made out of shit. It's not as bad. If you had the choice, it's definitely the smallest amount of shit, but it's still not something that you want to fucking shovel into your mouth. And I don't want to shovel it into my mouth. Not as bad by comparison isn't good. And then other people, it's like, oh, it's a social women's movie. And I can understand that perspective, but I honestly feel like this is kind of insulting to that demographic. Specifically because Wonder Woman has no character flaws, not interesting. Wouldn't you rather have a well-written superhero movie instead of praising one that's, under any other circumstances, would be considered a boring, flat, uninteresting character? Why are you, like, holding this to such a high regard, showing this to everyone when it's like it's not that good? Something that I really want to touch on is, for anyone who sees this as like a social win, the point that I kind of have to make is that Gal Gadot is terrible in this movie. She's a bad actress, and I don't think anyone has the right to deny that. There is some Tommy Wiseau level delivery that she gives off in this movie. So literally what this is saying is that if you're attractive enough, you don't have to be good at your job, and you'll still get opportunities handed to you based on your looks over less attractive, more qualified people. I don't think that's a very good message. I think that's kind of counterintuitive to what you're trying to say, and that's also kind of selling out your beliefs in a way, at least from my perspective. That kind of goes against literally everything that these sort of people kind of bring up about this movie. A lot of people say that Wonder Woman's supposed to be like, oh, it's good for young girls to have this superhero role model. And normally I'd agree, but the whole movie, Wonder Woman goes to a place that she knows nothing about, assumes everything based on her limited, narrow-minded knowledge, doesn't give a consideration to anyone more knowledgeable, who's more, understands more about what culturally is going on. Not only is she not punished for this, she's right. She just wills it into existence. That's not something that I really would ever want if my pullout game wasn't so strong. If I had a young daughter, I would not want her to get the message that, oh yeah, it's totally okay for you to fucking assume everything about places and people that you have literally zero understanding of, and be an entitled little shit, because you'll be right in the end. I just find this movie honestly insulting. I don't understand how this movie reached critical acclaim, and I know that the Oscars are bought off, but the fact that this didn't get an Oscar, oh, it made my day. It made my day, especially with the bad Captain Underpants news. It really did. It made me really happy. I don't think there's honestly anything good about this movie. I think that the only compliment I can give it is that it's serviceable, that it didn't fail as hard as Batman vs. Superman or Suicide Squad. You could comprehend it. You could look at the shots without having your eyes bleed, and I think that's maybe it. Something else is that this is awful in terms of a origin story, especially considering this is Wonder Woman's first appearance. I know nothing about Wonder Woman, and I left the fucking theater knowing nothing about Wonder Woman. I know that she got her lasso from, like, the gods, which one of the only things that I did know. So the movie takes place in, like, 1920s, and Wonder Woman, okay, at the very beginning it's modern day, and then she, like, flashes back to when she was, like, a fucking dumb little kid. It goes from her being this dumb little kid to training, and you're never at one point given how much time has passed between when she's a kid and when the movie takes place and she's fully trained during World War I. She looks the exact fucking same that she does in the movies now, and it's never fucking explained. It's never said that why she can age like this, even if they're like, it took 100 years from when she was a little kid to when she's fully grown, or 1,000 years or whatever, then that'd be something. I'd understand why she survived this long. Like, people compare this to Captain America. You understand why he survived that long, because he was frozen in ice. This doesn't give you that. This doesn't give you anything to go on about who Wonder Woman is, who her character is. And I really do not understand how people can like this movie. I mean, I think it's a pretty unbiased seat that I'm standing in. I heard this movie was good. I went into it with a pretty open mind. I definitely wasn't expecting anything. It wasn't like Suicide Squad where beforehand I'm like, that's gonna be an awful movie. There's no way that's not gonna be an awful movie. I have 2 eyes and a brain. I can see that's gonna be an awful movie. That's all I can really say. If you think this movie deserves an Oscar, I really want to ask you why. What do you think this movie did to deserve an Oscar? Not that any movie that gets an Oscar is necessarily deserve it, but this isn't the best of anything. This is honestly a pretty standard superhero movie. It does things that make it worse than the fucking normal superhero movie. Like, I can't even give it as much credit as all the other bland nothing superhero movies there are. Also, something that I really have to mention that really bugs me every time I see Gal Gadot in anything, her eyebrows are so bad. And I know that's shallow and I know that's stupid, but why? I can't think of a reason why she would shave her eyebrows if it's gonna look like that. Like, they look worse than any possible eyebrows you could have ever had. And it's so distracting. I don't know if I'm the only person that has noticed this. I can't be. Her eyebrows always give her an expression that doesn't look human. It's like the same expression you'd expect from someone who just got fucking Botox. I'm not saying that that has anything to do with the quality of the movie or how good she is of an actor. I just wanted to mention it.